What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lungile. Welcome back to the Ironheart podcast. In today's podcast, we are going to be talking about working on a 3-part sports documentary. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. If you are new here, this is the Ironheart podcast, the podcast about filmmaking, TV, and marketing, and the business of all of those things. My name is Lungile, and if it's your first time, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Okay, so it's been a while since I did this, and I'm super glad to be back and making content again. I hope you guys are good. I sort of missed the interaction with you guys. Okay, so getting into today's topic, so I want to talk about working on a 3-part documentary. So I recently worked on a 3-part sports documentary, which is like 3 parts, 48 minutes. And I learned a few cool things. I thought I'd share them so that you guys can learn. So one day, if you get a chance to work on a documentary, you can, know what to do and know what to expect. Okay. So when I landed this job, it was really, really interesting. It was a big documentary about these 2 sports teams, the rivalry between them, and it was interesting to find out all the people that work on a project like that. I was a content director on the project, so I was working with the director and the editors for the show. So what happened is, the beginning of the docu-series, they had interviewed like 15 players from each team, talking about different aspects of their team, talking about themselves, where they grew up, how they ended up joining the team, where they are now in the league. And it was a lot of content, it was a lot. I think it was probably like 60 hours of content. And just to think that still wasn't enough, they were still going to shoot more content after that. So it was really fascinating to find out that 60 hours of content, which they were going to cut into a 3-hour documentary, One thing that was interesting is there was a script for the first episode, and the episode was split into 6 segments. So each segment was meant to be 8 minutes. So if you think 48 divided by 6, so the script was supposed to be like, the script had like 6 segments to make up 48 minutes of the show. Okay, so some interesting stuff that I learned working on this documentary is that we had a producer, we had a post supervisor, we had 2 editors, we had 2 assistant editors, and we had a director, and then we also had me, So it was a really small, tight-knit crew, and it was really interesting. To work on one segment that is 8 minutes took very long. So what happened is, instead of cutting the whole episode, we would cut the first segment of the documentary. And the first rough cut of the documentary would be like around that 8-minute segment will be 2 hours, right? Like a very, very rough assembly. After that, we'd have like a week. We had a week to make a rough assembly. And then after that, we had another week to make a 30-minute rough assembly. And then each week we would keep cutting it down until it was supposed to get to like 8 minutes. So it just showed me like it really takes long to produce a documentary series, There's a lot of content to comb through, getting archive. If you don't know what archive is, it's like not stock footage, but it's like footage from the news, footage from other sources that hasn't been shot. And still, they were still going to shoot some more content in terms of reenactments and stuff like that, and going to the players' homes. So it was really interesting, and if you ever want to work on a documentary, I hope this is enlightening, and it tells you what the process is and how long it takes. And I think, for like a month, we worked on one segment, which was very long. It's long in the sense that I'm used to working on commercials and shorter content. But if you think about it, like for one segment, we spent like 4 weeks crafting that segment week after week and having viewings and cutting it down from a 2-hour rough cut to a 30-minute, 45-minute to 30-minute, and trying to get it to like 15 minutes. And then we're still going to cut it down to 8 minutes. That's just one segment. Imagine there's 6 segments in an episode. So it really took a lot of crafting and a lot of cutting and a lot of creativity and collaboration and stuff. But yeah, it was a really, really cool project. I hope you guys learned something. I hope if you're interested, please drop a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you listen to this on Spotify, please rate our podcast. Or share with your friends, just so that we can reach more people that are interested in the film and TV industry in South Africa. And and that's it for today's episode of the Ironheart Podcast. My name is Lungile. I'm super, super excited to be back, and I'm glad to be talking to you guys. And I hope there's going to be more podcast episodes that I get to make and probably get to interact with you, And the best thing also that you could do for me, if I could please ask you one thing, is to drop a comment on this video if you're watching it on YouTube. It really, really, really helps, because it helps us with the algorithm. It helps us, the video, reach other people that want to know more about working on sports documentaries. But yeah, this is actually pretty exciting. I hope you guys find this useful. If you have questions, please drop questions below. If you like this video, hit the comments, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Until next time, guys, peace out.